right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You can have a seat. As I mentioned to you, I guess it was yesterday, the state had rested their case, and then I mentioned a moment ago the defendant had rested their case. The state now has an opportunity to present some rebuttal testimony or evidence to you, and so in that regard, the state's next witness is?
Your Honor, the state calls Rhonda Rauer.
Rhonda Rauer, please. Ms. Rauer, if you'll come up to the front again for me, please. And you were sworn the other day, but I'll have you come in and raise your right hand. The clerk will administer the oath to you again.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right, ma'am, if you'll come right around here and resume the seat. And just remember to speak loudly into the microphone so everybody can hear you, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Wolfson.
Good afternoon, Ms. Rauer. I'd like to turn your attention to the morning of November 24th. Do you remember that drive home to Brevard with the defendant?
Yes, I do.
Now, while on that drive home, Ms. Rauer, did the defendant receive a phone call?
Yes, he did.
And who called him?
It was our neighbor.
Could you state his name?
Well, I can't pronounce his last name. Am I allowed to say his first?
Yes, ma'am.
Ken?
Okay, and do you know his last name to be Les Calais?
Yeah.
Now, Ms. Rauer, how did you know that that was who called the defendant?
It was on speakerphone.
Did you hear that conversation?
Yes, I did.
So you could hear both Mr. Les Calais as well as the defendant?
Yes, I could.
During that conversation, did the defendant tell Mr. Les Calais that you all were heading back home instead of going to St. Augustine?
Yes.
And did the defendant also tell Mr. Les Calais that that was because you were not feeling well?
Yes.
During that conversation, did the defendant ever mention that he had been involved in a shooting in Jacksonville?
No.
Did the defendant ever mention that he needed to speak with Mr. Les Calais when he got back home?
No.
Did the defendant ever mention to Mr. Les Calais that he had something important that he needed to talk to Mr. Les Calais about?
No.
Were plans actually discussed for that night instead?
They indicated. Did you want me to just say yes?
Just whatever you remember.
They said that if I was feeling better that I should join them, that we should join them for evening out.
Okay. But there was no discussion of the defendant going over to Mr. Les Calais' house when you all got back home?
No.
Now, Ms. Rauer, I'd like to then go back to November 23rd of 2012, and that's right after the shooting.
Okay.
When you and the defendant got to the hotel, back to your Sheraton,
Yes.
did you ever see this defendant reach to take his gun back out of the glove box?
No.
Did you ever tell the defendant not to take the gun out of the glove box?
No.
And then, Ms. Rauer, also on November 23rd, 2012, after the shooting, when you came out of the gate gas station and you got into the defendant's car,
Yes.
did the defendant ever tell you he saw a gun in that red SUV?
No.
Did the defendant ever tell you that he saw a weapon of any kind in that SUV?
No.
There was no mention of a stick.
No.
There was no mention of a shotgun.
No.
There was no mention of a barrel.
No.
There was no mention of a lead pipe.
No.
Back in the hotel room, Ms. Rauer, that same night, did the defendant ever tell you that he saw the boys with a firearm?
No.
Did he ever tell you that he saw the boys with a weapon?
No.
On the 2-hour drive back to Brevard the following morning, did the defendant ever tell you that he saw a gun in the SUV?
No.
And on that 2-hour drive, did he ever tell you he saw a weapon of any kind in
No.
that SUV?
No.
You have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Strolla.
Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Rauer, we saw your mental state the other day when you testified. you were on the stand, you recall crying and breaking down?
Yes, I do.
You recall being escorted out by a bailiff to keep you up?
Yes, I do.
You also remember telling this jury that you actually were worse off, closer in time to the shooting than you were even that day mentally.
Yes, I did.
Isn't it true, there's no way you can remember everything Mr. Dunn said to you because of your mental state?
I suppose.
Okay. And isn't it true in your mental state that you had pre-existing conditions with anxiety and issues like that? Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay. And after this incident, you actually sought counseling. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And because of this incident and what you went through, you're actually on prescription medication. Isn't that true?
Yes, I am.
No further questions, Judge.
May she be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Schroeder.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You're excused.
Thank you.
State's next witness.
Judge, the state next witness is Detective Musser. We do not yet have the report that we were seeking.
Okay. Well, want to take another break? Any estimate as to time that it might arrive? Something is coming from the state attorney's office. They have not moved to their new building, which will be adjacent to this building. They're still back over at the old building where the old courthouse was. So somebody's having to travel from there to here. And that's what the situation is. So do we have any earthly idea? 10 minutes?
They said it's on the way, so in an abundance of caution, can we have 10 to 12 and a half minutes?
12 and a half? How about 12 minutes and 22 seconds? Let's just go ahead and break until 3:30, shall we? Again, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't discuss the case among yourselves with others. We'll be back in about